att få rapporter från konfliktzoner. Det är väldigt viktigt, panel. Är det så att vi inte har journalister som Alex och andra på plats, så kommer vi drabbas av samma desinformation och propaganda som alla andra gör. Så 3:00, jag slår ett slag för det. Berätta gärna för era kollegor. Okej. Alex, varsågod.
Thank you. The topic of the discussion is drones, the new warfare method. And for many of you who've been following this war, it might be an odd notion to consider this as a new warfare method, because it's been around throughout this war since 2014. But in the long human history and history of warfare, it is profoundly new war method which has altered the course of war, changed tactics, organization of armed forces, the way we view arms industry. So it is a very relevant and interesting topic which we will try to dive into. And to do that, we have a very knowledgeable panel. Here to the left, Nazar Rim is a Ukrainian war veteran, drone operator, and drone instructor. The last year he's been working as mainly instructor. We have with us from Kiev, can we see him on the screen? Yes, Vadim Kushnikov, Executive Director of Information and Analytical Center Militarny. This is a very knowledgeable news resource, which I read quite a lot. We also have Daniel Smith. He's a army captain, teacher at Swedish Defense University, and researcher. He's been recently published his thesis. The defense is due in September, I think, but the thesis is complete. It covers drone-related issues, and Daniel has had close contact with drones in a good way. But before we start the discussion, I would like to give the floor to two representatives of co-hosts of this event from STFU Tactics. The civil society is important, has been very important throughout Ukrainian defense effort in general, and specifically with relation to drones warfare. NGOs have been transformed into small businesses. NGOs have been collecting funds to manufacture drones and to, in general, increase the knowledge of the general public about this war method. So I want to give the floor to Vladislav Mikhalchuk and Alexander Yegelin Puri from STFU Tacticals, a Swedish NGO which was created in 2022, which collects funds for drones. And inspired by this discussion, you might be, keen to contribute to this Ukrainian defense effort through STFU Tactics. Please.
I can start. My name is Alexander. I'm a board member of STFU Tactics. We're a small Swedish NGO based in Stockholm. We support the Ukrainian military, mainly focus on drones. However, we also deliver trucks and boats and so on. We're a small team, we deliver fast, and that's our main focus.
Yes, I just want to say big thank you for everyone who is coming, because I saw a lot of my friends, a lot of people that I don't know before. It's just show me our result, because what's our topic to show, so we need to working up. We need to working up because new war is coming. and it will be war of Martian. And we need to be prepared for this war. So it's nice to see you. So you're commenting because you understand what is drones mean in a modern war. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you for your attention. And if you will have any question after this discussion, we have a black tent where we have some drones and things like this one. We are very welcome. We will stay here for full weeks. So thank you so much and very welcome after discussion to see our tent. Thanks.
Could we have Vadim? I would like to start by letting you just give us a brief introduction of what drones is all about. War drones, what kind of drones there is, how they're being used in general. And during this introduction, try to keep it simple, basic, before we dive into details further on in the discussion. Please, Vadim.
I thank you for opportunities to speak today on one of the most transformable aspects of ongoing Russo-Ukrainian war, the role of drone warfare. What we are witnessing right now in Ukraine, and not only tragic and brutal war, but also a testing ground for new forms of warfare, where unmanned systems are reshaping the battlefield in the previously unimaginable way. So from the first days of full-scale invasion in February 2022, drones from commercial quadcopters to advanced military platforms have played an increasingly central role. Both Ukraine and Russia are quickly recognized that air superiority is not only about fighter jets or helicopters and anymore, but about small, agile, cost-effective, and ubiquitous unmanned aerial vehicles. So if we are looking back, even from the beginning of Russian-Ukrainian war from 2014, the small drones, DJI quadcopters, are performed their missions in reconnaissance and artillery spotting missions, and fast they are converted into strike tools to make suffer on enemy troops. So we are seized really from the 2022 the large and really massive process are ongoing to adapt these unmanned aerial vehicles, platforms, systems. First of all, it was reconnaissance missions, but we also have really spectacular witnesses of, for example, Turkish-made Bayraktar TB2 drones, which are play a significant role on Kiev campaign to strike Russian convoys, Russian military assets, and military personnel. And ongoing process also show us this war machines like Bayraktar, also agile platform to conduct missions, for example, in open seas, as we are see that in mission on liberation of Snake Island in 2022 as well. Sorry. The forward steps, we could see that drones are separate on different missions. First of all, we see reconnaissance missions, we see strike missions, and deep strike missions. For example, FPV drones are playing significant role in the way where Ukrainian troops are faced with a shortage of anti-tank weaponry. First of all, it's about ATGMs. Russia has a lot of equipment which Ukrainian troops need to destroy. So in this case, FPV drones shows that cost-effective tool, really precise tool, could replace even the types, even significant types of weaponry as ATGMs. Striking developments of the mass deployment of FPV is inexpensive, fast, and capable to deliver high precision strikes. So against not only vehicles, but fortifications and troops itself. For a few $100s, Ukraine can destroy assets worth hundreds of thousands. This is create an entirely new level of tactical flexibility. Also, we could talk about strategic level of use, for example, long-range drones. Beyond the tactical battlefield, Ukraine has increasingly used long-range drones such as domestically produced Beaver, Luty drones, or Western supply systems to strike deep into Russian territory, targeting critical infrastructure, oil refineries, military bases. This has brought the war home to Russia in ways of strategic bombers alone could not. And also we could mention the successful operations, for example, like a Spiderweb, which conducted by Security Service of Ukraine. This is another bright example of asymmetrical warfare, asymmetrical use of force. And firstly, it's about asymmetrical use of FPV drones and drones technologies itself. So we could also name some types and really effective solutions. For example, in reconnaissance field, since the 2017, Ukraine adopt Ukrainian-made, not Luty, Leleka reconnaissance drones by Ukrainian company Deviro. Also, in 2020, Ukrainian company Utökad Systems presented its brand new reconnaissance drone Shark, and currently we have the whole series of such drones which are modernized, which are enhanced their capabilities to provide crucial information for Ukrainian forces about Russian assets, about Russian troops. For tactical level, we have dozens and dozens companies and teams which are working on the field of production of FPV striking drones. And currently we have another spin of evolution, and currently we have fiber optic controlled drone which could independently operate on distance up to 40 kilometers, as well as this tactical level of 40 till 50 kilometers. We have maybe up to 10 great solutions in this field of striking drones, which could perform this mission in enemy rears to destroy fortifications, to destroy command posts, to destroy electronic warfare, jammers, and equipment, which are really critical for Russians in current stage of combat, in current stage of war. If we are talking about long-range drones, Ukraine also have significant amount of such type of drones. We are mentioned previously, it's Beaver, it's Luty, it's Morok drone, which also could destroy enemy facilities in deep rear and also on the territory of Russia. So, in conclusion, I could mention that drone warfare is no longer the warfare of tomorrow, it's warfare of today, and we need to move forward in this way and be on the step forward from our competitors from Russia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vadim. We will discuss this topic more in detail later, but I'm just a quick question to you, Vadim. If you could just summarize, what can be said about which side has the upper hand in the drone war at the moment, Ukraine or Russia?
It depends. It really depends, for example, on types of drones. If we are talking about FPV drones, Ukraine stepped forward, but Russia also tried to close this gap. If we are talk about fiber optic control FPV drones, Russia have a little advantage from Ukrainian side, for example. And for sure, they are drop all of their efforts to scale up production of Shahid type drones. It's really critical component right now and critical matter for Ukrainian defense. If we are talking in a way how to counter this threat, we need to focus on development of interceptor drone. It's a newborn type of UAV warfare. We see how it performed well in 2024 against Russian reconnaissance drones. We have witnesses where on separate sectors of line of contact, Russian have no eyes in air. This is became real only in this case, only on successful operations of Ukrainian defenders and Ukrainian drone manufacturers. And right now we have a race against time to create some solutions against Russian long-range kamikaze drone.
Thank you, Vadim. I'll give the floor to Nazar. Could you tell us a bit about your experience as a drone operator and how the drones have changed the modern war based on your experience? Nazar is going to talk through our excellent interpreter, Olena Rogozina. So, please, Nazar.
Всіх вітаю. Дякую, що прийшли і організовувати такі заходи.
Everyone, thank you so much for coming and for organizing this kind of events.
Декілька слів про себе. Працював у якості аеророзвідника з 22-го року, практично на всіх напрямках в Україні.
I was working in aerial reconnaissance since the spring of 2022 in almost all directions of the front line.
В 24-му році по стану здоров'я змушений був списатися зі Збройних сил України.
In 2024, due to health issues, I left the armed forces.
В 22-му році ми працювали більш як на аматорському рівні.
In 2022, the way we worked was more of amateur.
Тому що ера дронів тільки зароджувалася.
Because that was the start of the era of drones.
Але з кожним місяцем, з кожним роком все розвивається і рухається вперед.
But every month, every year, we have seen the development and huge step forwards.
Розвивається обладнання у вигляді антен, у вигляді батарей, за рахунок чого ми можемо літати далі і працювати довше.
Equipment like antennas and batteries have been developing a lot, and that obviously lets us do a lot more.
Також завдяки дронам здійснюються фактично всі виходи наших піхотних груп на позиції.
And in fact, drones are the reason why our soldiers on the ground can do their work.
Що допомагає попередити засідки, ворожі засідки, а також якщо будуть якісь прильоти по групі, ми зможемо передати на штаб і надати їм завчасну допомогу.
Drones allow us to find the places of traps or the places of hiding, and also let us in time discover where the enemy is and what is being planned, and kind of act in defense of our soldiers in advance to prevent to prevent what would have happened otherwise.
Однак з розвитком технологій і з розвитком дронів з кожним місяцем стає дедалі важче добратися до позицій.
However, with all the development of drone technology, it's becoming more difficult to get to the positions.
Зараз нашим хлопцям приходиться ходити пішки до позицій близько 8-10 кілометрів.
Now our guys have to go on foot to the positions in a distance around 8-10 kilometers.
Через це зараз активно починає розвиватися інший напрямок дронів – це наземні роботизовані комплекси.
Which has led to the development of a new type of drones that is the robotic systems that go on the ground.
Вони допомагають довозити обладнання на позиції, боєприпаси, а також забирати поранених і вбитих.
And they help to bring the needed equipment and weapons to the positions, and they help to evacuate the wounded and the deceased.
Особисто в мене були випадки, коли з допомогою дронів ми могли звільняти певні позиції, не використовуючи при цьому людей і зберігаючи їхнє життя.
My own lived personal experience has been numerous occasions when that equipment, those drones, helped to free the locations entirely without human resources, which helped to save a lot of human lives.
Тому є велика потреба у нарощуванні кількості і якості дронів, тому що в 21 столітті мають воювати дрони, а не люди.
And this means that we need to double down on innovation in terms of drones to develop that technology even further, because the 21st century warfare should be without human resources.
Дякую.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nazar. We brought two drones here to the podium. Maybe you could just show and tell people what it is and what they do.
Перед вами дрон Mavic 3.
This is Mavic 3T.
Раніше його ще називали весільний дрон.
It used to be called the wedding drone.
Але він
Чому?
просто
Because it was making good videos for the weddings.
Так, здебільшого він використовується для розвідки, для коригування і для супроводу груп.
It's mostly used for reconnaissance and to help control set the direction and understand the situation.
Але також ми модернізовуємо його під скид для боєприпасів.
But we've been modernizing it to be able to handle, bearing something that can go down.
Також є модифікація цього Мавіка з термальною камерою для польотів вночі.
And then there is a modification of Mavic 3T with a thermal camera which allows it to work at night.
Даний дрон – це FPV-дрон.
This one is an FPV drone.
Його можна використовувати в якості камікадзе.
Can be used as kamikaze.
І в якості бомбера.
And as a bomber.
Цей невеликий дрон має розмір 10 дюймів.
It's 10 inches в діаметрі, так? Чи як?
10 дюймів,
in the diameter.
І є підтверджене враження цим дроном на відстані 40 кілометрів.
And there are facts where it has been able to fly and act in a distance of 40 kilometers.
Можливо, є якісь запитання?
Do you have any questions, maybe?
How much does it cost, like this FPV drone?
Цей дрон доволі дешевий. Середня його вартість близько $400-500.
It's quite cheap, around $400-500
Якщо ми говоримо про дрон в якості камікадзе.
when it can act as a kamikaze.
Якщо його використовувати під бомбер, він буде трохи дорожче.
The one that's used as a bomber is a little bit more expensive.
Thank you, Nazar.
Дякую.
Daniel, I would like to say a few words about what made Ukraine so successful in drone warfare. And maybe focus a little bit on the problems as well, because for instance, this Mavic drone is basically a Chinese construction. Is there a problem with dependency on Chinese components, Chinese technology, Chinese manufacturing?
Yes, of course there is a problem. Ukrainian defense tech, the Ukrainian defense tech, the Ukrainian defense tech ecosystem has been widely successful in producing these drones and the equipment in use. Not because it's been centralized and a big effort, but because it's been decentralized. A lot of work has been done as startups. There are defense tech incubators working to find the most promising companies and accelerate their products further on. There is this state initiative called Brave One, or a state agency that is providing funds to companies to create a minimum viable product so that they can show something and show what they can do, show potential, and so on. This comes with trade-offs, of course. If you have a very decentralized system, you will struggle to scale up production. When you have a product that is useful and showing promise, you will not have as much people being able to continue improve the product. If you have a centralized system, like Russia is doing, you will be much slower to actually get somewhere, but then when you just need to improve what you have, you will probably be much quicker. You will also be more quicker in implementing if you have a very centralized system. So these are trade-offs. They are, of course, not as easy as it's not as clear-cut as I'm conveying right now, but it's more of ideal types here. Then they are, of course, possible to mix. You can have a decentralized innovation system, but a more centralized approach to actually scaling up and producing and implementing. Now, the Chinese dependency is, of course, a huge problem because China and Russia has some interesting ties, we could say. And if you're too reliant on just one supplier, well, then you have a weakness. It's not more difficult than that. Yeah.
Thank you, Daniel. Could we bring Vadim back on screen?
Can you hear me?
Vadim, you heard Daniel mentioning the Russian way of doing pretty much anything, and specifically in manufacturing drones. They have a centralized defense industry, which makes it possible for them to scale up production. do they have a clear advantage in this regard? And what does Ukraine do to if so, what does Ukraine do to catch up, to compensate for this disadvantage?
Yeah, I love to voice the historical example. In this case, we all know that Russian Soviet T-34 tank wasn't the best tank of Second World War, but it was a massive one, mass productive one. And currently, really, Russians are primarily focused on scale up production of one or maybe couple effective solutions, and that's how they are taking their business. For Ukraine, we have a lot of well-shown solutions in deep strike drones, for example. But also the main question is, Russians have only one advantage because they have no fear about ballistic missile came into production facility. Ukrainian manufacturers are needed to look back every time to spread their production facilities all over the countries. And this is also the big challenge for manufacturers, for drone manufacturers. And in this case, we are also looking for our Western partners, Western allies, to find some solutions, for example, for relocation of some manufacture stages, for example, fiberglass manufacturers, and conduct final assembly here in Ukraine. So it's a really complex question how we could to find out the best way to counter a Russian spamming of their deep strike drones.
Daniel, perhaps you can comment on that and say something about what the West and Sweden can do to contribute to this effort.
Yeah, sure. Oh, it works great. Yeah, there is nothing done in like a void. And for Ukraine right now, as Vadim said, it is crucial to have a decentralized production system because the vulnerability is too great if we don't have that. Now, drones are changing the character of warfare right now, seemingly favoring defense again. And following this development is crucial. Some people talk about a revolution in how war is conducted. I don't really like that term because it's only a revolution if you're not aware of it happening, so to say. But whether we like it or not, drones now are gap fillers to precision-guided munitions. They complement existing weapon systems like artillery and tanks. With like this drone here, 10 of that drone is still cheaper than one 155 millimeter artillery shell in Sweden. And those shells are being just thrown away in the direction of enemy when we need to use them. Tens, hundreds. It's very cheap and very precise. So it's also a complement, and there are also new attack vectors and support abilities being produced by using these technologies. We have to use them as well. Everyone has to use them and accept that this is a new reality of war. Now, what Sweden should do, and any nation basically, is to follow this development closely. And the best way to follow such a development is to actually take part in it. To not only sit back, relax, and look at videos and learn, but to engage with. Because we as people, as organizations, the best way we actually learn something is by engaging in experimentation. Being there, seeing, prodding, looking, turning on the things, using them. And seeing what happens when we do. I'm not saying the entire West should go to Ukraine and fight against Russia, even if that would help us all. But we need to engage, and engage deeply, where it happens, as it happens, because there is too much at stake, and we need that. We need to do that through institutionalized partnerships, because this is a strategic question from these.
Thank you, Daniel. We are nearing the end of our panel, but we do have a few minutes for questioning. Try to keep it short and introduce yourselves.
I'm Christopher from... Kom hit. I'm Christopher from Karlskrona. I wonder how do you work with the safety of the drone operators, because like you can be paled in by the Russians, so they can send bombs on you when you control that. So my question is, how do you work with AI to make those think by themselves and find their own targets?
Здебільшого, коли оператори працюють на позиціях, в нас є певні правила. Ми завжди заїжджаємо вночі, виїжджаємо також вночі, щоб нас не можна було виявити.
When operators work with drones, there is a set of rules. For example, going at night and this kind of like security rules.
Максимально маскуємо свою позицію, щоб нічого не видавало те, що ми є оператори дронів.
Masking our positions to the maximum so that it wouldn't be visible that we are drone operators. Could you maybe rephrase the question? Was your question regarding the drone operators on the front line, or more as a kind of a development of drone technology?
It's more like on the drone technology. Like if you can put in AI in that system and you send it away to find tanks, find soldiers, find different targets, and by itself, then they can't find you, because otherwise they can triangulate where you or your position.
Okay, I understand
You removed the operator from the equation.
Yes. For safety.
Наскільки мені відомо зараз, штучний інтелект ще недостатньо розвинувся для того, щоб визначати людей, інші об'єкти, особливо якщо вони знаходяться в посадці і замасковані.
As far as I know, at the moment, AI is not advanced enough to be able to identify people, especially if they are masked.
Також з того, що мені відомо, AI добре працює в полі. Якщо ви в полі знайшли ворожий танк або іншу техніку, AI зможе донавестись і вразити ціль.
What I know is that AI can work well on a field terrain. Then it's easier to target, right? See it and target. It's a different story when you are in a forest or foresty landscape.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
So we are at the end of our panel. Vadim unfortunately disappeared from the screen because his online session ended. But he's still he's you there. So we can thank him in person. And thanks to our other panelists and to our interpreter, Olena.
thank you for this impressive talk about something that we actually didn't know much about just a few years ago. This is something that's really changed the world. And I must say, I am a visionist. I said a few years ago to friends, drones is going to change the future. But I actually did not think in the military way. I thought about flying at heart starters when there's a heart attack, films, a lot of things, but that this came into this military. And it's so impressive to hear and to see about how Ukraine is being so creative. You're taking the lead. When everything is over, when you're free, this is going to be a big export industry that can support helping your country again. I'd like to just say thank you for coming. I'd like to say that we have some special events this afternoon at